来到308高地，在308高地，我们以台湾为中心，关心着台湾相关的地缘政治、军事外交，或者是与台湾安全相关的议题。那每一集我们都邀请到好朋友、专家来这边，用他们的角度来破题。也许在308高地，我们也许没办法谈得很全面或者够深入，但透过这些议题的导入呢，可以让不管你是在台湾或者在其他的国家，当你关心的这个区域的安全或台湾的相关议题的时候，可以得到一点点像窗户一样，可以看到这个世界哈。今天我们邀请到的来宾，我们要改成英文模式，English version。我们
Yes.
So, I'm so happy to have these two friends join our program, discuss issue related to Taiwan security or defense. They are truly experts in this category. First, Tony Hu, former Pentagon official in charge of China and Taiwan affairs, former general manager of Raytheon Taiwan, and he's my old friend. Some people think he is Taiwanese. I think he is, but actually he is American. So Tony, say hello to my audience, my
everybody.
friends here. Okay, my second guest here is Uncle Topher. He is my neighbor. He lives in Kaohsiung. I live in Tainan. Just a street, a river separates us. U.S. Army veteran, Iraq War participant, and YouTuber Uncle Topher. Try to subscribe his channel, and sometimes he is a little bit lazy to renew. Sometimes.
Usually.
So Topher, say hello to our friends here.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like.
Okay, so now it's English version. I hope my limited English ability won't sabotage the discuss here. So over past few years, the conversation about Taiwan has fundamentally changed. We've moved from talking about platform to talking about systems, from deterrence by punishment to denial by design. And in Washington, D.C., the first island chain is no longer a map. It's a defense architecture. And Taiwan is no longer seen only as a front line, but as a critical node in United States strategy, technology security, and industrial resilience. So tonight we are asking simple but a serious question. Under the United States strategic shift toward peace through strength, what role is Taiwan actually expected to play? Not politically, but operationally. Not symbolically, but structurally. So from denial, defense, and unmanned system to arms packages, supply chain, and internal resilience, this is about how war prevention is being redesigned in real time. So let's get into it. That's my opening. It's good?
That's a great job. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. AI do help. Yeah. So our first question is about a shift.
Right.
A lot of people say United States has shifted their weight of their strategy from Europe to Indo-Pacific region, from ideology to some, transactional, something like that.
Right.
So, what's your view as United States, shift? What's the shift? What's the original strategy focus? So maybe we start with Tony. You are officer here.
Well, I think if we looked at the new national security strategy, the main thing about shifting is the priority, where President Trump looked upon the Western Hemisphere, the Americas, North America, Central America, South America, as his number one priority, where he is placing importance on illegal immigration, securing the border down south, and also the illegal drugs that's coming in. So he's putting a lot more efforts into it, including shifting the entire carry a strike group to that region. So the shift is mainly how we prioritize stuff. So in his national security strategy, he said, okay, number one priority is the security of the Western Hemisphere, where he said we have the Trump coronary of the Monroe Doctrine. Monroe Doctrine was in the 1930s.
门罗主义、孤立主义。
对他说 ，OK， the Americas 是由美国来控制，你们欧洲的国家不，其他的国家不准来。Okay, that's what Monroe Doctrine is about. So Trump is trying to say, okay, my version of my national security is restate the Monroe Doctrine, where 只有我 only me, only United States should have influence in this part of the world. So that's number one. Number two, priority in his national security strategy is Asia Pacific, where he wants to deter any war and keep open and free. Number three is support European allies. And number four is prevent an adversary power have any type of dominance in Middle East, because after all, Middle East is an energy source. It's very important in the United States. And number five is he wants to make sure the United States technology and standards continue to lead the world. Basically, things like U.S. dollar. He wants to make sure that U.S. dollar is still the dominating, the currency of use for international transaction. So the shift is actually a shift of priority and not the main focus of peace through strength.
And what the shift brings, the military deployment and the equipment requirement, what the shift will bring the change? Because if you shift your target, shift your priority, you need to deploy your military assets in different locations.
Right.
And if you try to attack terrorists, the equipment you try to procure is different with some strait like China or Russia. So what's the shift bring what kind of change?
Well, the shift, as I mentioned, now we have carrier strike group in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
You know, we have never done that because there is an enemy that require a carrier strike group presence.
But using F-35, even F-16 to launch some kind of attack over there, it's kind of West.
It is. We can even do that with our turboprop aircraft with a missile. But we also talking about reducing our military presence in Europe, which is happening. We are withdrawing the troops from Europe, but we are strengthening our presence in the Asia Pacific region. So that shift includes increasing, we call Pacific Deterrence Initiative, PDI, where we're beefing up the first island chain's defense, air missile defense, and second island chain's air missile defense. We're building up the runway in Tinian. And we talk about
Tinian
that.
Airport.
Yeah, we're rebuilding the runway. We're beefing up our maritime reserve fleet in Saipan. We have pre-position ships in Saipan. We have 4 of them. We're beefing them up. And we also are filling up the war reserve bunkers.
Yeah.
So these are the things that's tangible to the shift in priority, where we move forces to the Americas, and we're beefing up on number 2 priority, the Asia Pacific, to deter any trouble.
Yeah. So if I reason this, the shift is happening, and the shift is change from forward presence to maybe illegal immigrants or drug.
Yeah.
And if we talk about the threat from Russia to China will be major competitors. And the military asset to relocate will shift from Europe to Indo-Pacific region. So this strategic shifting is happening and it's tremendous. So Topher, you are an old soldiers.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes strategy is far away from the real battle
Right.
to those soldiers, but you have battle experiences. So what's your point of view for this shift?
I think it's indicative of how the Trump administration is shifting away from like the usual ideological speech we're spreading democracy, we're spreading freedom, and getting into more transactional, what people can say is more practical in some sense, but there's also a lot of criticism against that as well. Yeah. As far as Europe is concerned, NATO has been criticized quite a lot for not holding up their end of the bargain as far as defense spending is concerned. So they've been less than 2% of their budget into defense. And America is at a point under the Trump administration where they're saying, you can't expect us to bail out all of Europe and to potentially fight a war in the Pacific. That's just not going to happen. You're going to have to raise up your budgets and build your own factories again and rearm.
I know United States have been discussing this with EU or NATO for a long time. And sometimes I have to give some credit to Trump. He is using the very effective way to persuade NATO.
It is.
Raise their defense budget.
Well, you'd think an invasion of Ukraine against Russia, the whole reason NATO exists is because of Russia and the Soviet threat.
Yeah.
Right. You'd think that a land war in Europe would trigger a response, but even then it was too slow in many people's opinion. So I think that's one of the reasons that the shift is moving away from Europe, who are capable of defending themselves, and into the Indo-Pacific, which for America is much more valuable.
So what I observe is, European, actually, they have enough resources to defend Europe.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't invest enough.
I'd say that some of the countries there are doing actually a really good job. I think Poland is doing a fantastic job.
They are building the largest army capacity in Europe now.
Yeah, I'd say that France is doing okay, but I think like Germany is really hesitant to rearm and rebuild its military.
Germany or some other country, they have enough resources, they have enough money, but they don't input to recruit enough soldiers, to build enough equipment. Yeah. So Trump's way, special way to convince them or persuade them to do the reform, actually it works. It works.
It seemed to have worked so far. I think the focus on the Western Hemisphere with North and South America really falls in line with the campaign that Trump had, America First. Yeah. He campaigned against fentanyl. That's the drug that's been going in, which is extremely deadly. It's more deadly than drugs like arsenic or cyanide. So, and I think there's some second-order effects to the essentially a blockade of Venezuela. The current socialist regime in Venezuela is not very America-friendly. It was American companies that built up the oil infrastructure in Venezuela. That sanctioned oil is being sent to China. Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons, and there's PLA weapons going to Venezuela.
Doesn't punish the crew that you try to punish.
Yeah.
And the benefit, the competitors, you don't want to get benefit.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, because they've been posting all the videos, not all, but many of the videos of them destroying the speedboats that are trafficking the drugs. Yeah. It's not always the same weapon system. So it seems to me that the U.S. is also using this as basically a big training exercise, a training opportunity, and testing different weapon systems at hitting fast-moving small boats.
Yeah.
Well, what I comprehend here is, Trump administration or United States, they increase the weight for Indo-Pacific region, for United States domestic issue to protect United States from drug or illegal immigrants. And he increase the weight to require allies to increase their, they have to take their own responsibilities. And what try to reduce is maybe Europe, you should look after your backyard on your own. And the Middle East, Israel will play very important role to keep orders of the layer.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to comprehend here. If that correct, my question about this part is, this kind of shift will let damage or influence Taiwan's security or Taiwan national interest. Tony.
Well, one thing that Trump has made clear in the national security strategy is he expects the friends and allies to carry more weight.
Yeah.
He mentioned in Asia, the United States would like to maintain a capability to deter war. Now, he also mentioned that to maintain this capability to deter war is not the United States' burden to carry alone. He expects friends and allies in the region to also carry their weight, just like in Europe. So obviously Japan has stepped forward, and Korea has stepped forward, and Taiwan has stepped forward. And the Philippines, they're not that rich, but what they have done, and as one of the things that was expressed in national security strategy is, allies, I expect to open up your access, allow United States force access, allied forces access to your places in case we need to use those places to continue to deter aggression. Of course, when in the whole national security strategy, when we talk about aggression in Asia, there's only one aggressor, which is China.
Yeah.
So that was the focus.
So, Topher, what's your point of view?
I completely agree with Tony on all of that. I would say that this is actually somewhat of an opportunity for Taiwan because it allows Taiwan to build up its own defense industry. And what we've learned in the war with Ukraine and as technology is developing, that autonomous weapon systems, drones, are getting extremely important. This is something that Taiwan is good at manufacturing. And the U.S. wants to separate itself from the China supply chain, right? They don't want the red supply chain, especially when it comes to defense and weapon systems. Taiwan is right there to fill that gap.
Yeah, I add up this. I have several occasions to discuss this with our private section, industrial, those businessmen. I say, the Dajiang, how much they occupy in market share, that will means how much the opportunities you are going to have, because the delayed supply chain.
Yeah.
United States or Europe, they require those drones without China's capital or China component. So when Dajiang occupy a very large share of market shares, that means the opportunities there. Maybe in the past, compare the cost, China, they are so competitive, but their government, PLA, behind this, people worry about the sabotage. So once the major market like United States or Europe require those equipments you are going to supply cannot have any China component, that means opportunities for Taiwan, because Taiwan we are good at manufacturing things, and our costs are lower than Japan or those Western democracies. So that's our opportunities. So I echo your point of view.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for Taiwan.
Yeah. So Tony said, United States want those partners or allies carry weights, share the burden. United States can be the captain to lead the deterrence to deter the aggressor. But as a partner, you should do your part. Yep. So Korea, they are increasing their defense budget. Japan, they double their defense budget. And even Philippines,
they open up the access too.
They increase 10% and open their access and their military base for allies' use. And Australia, they increase their defense budget almost 9%. And Taiwan, we are going to increase our defense budget from 2.4 to beyond 3% of our GDP.
Right.
And we are going to reach to the 5% of our GDP by 2030. But question here is, in Taiwan, those defense budget, regular defense budget, spatial defense budget, those bills cannot even in process of our parliament. If Taiwan Legislative Yuan, our parliament, fail this budget expense, Tony, you are an expert. What's the outcome? What's the impact going to create?
I think this is going to cause some concerns on the political side in Washington, D.C. Why Taiwan is not carrying its own weight, and does it demonstrate Taiwan's determination to defend itself? Okay, and this type of question, this type of doubt, it can be exploited by China. See, Taiwan, they don't care. They just want the United States to die for them. Okay.
They only want a free ride. They don't care about their own security.
So this is very unfortunate. But my personal observation, and I think this is very interesting. So you see the other two political parties that's working, basically hoping that there is a peaceful solution and maybe China takes over and nobody dies. Okay, but the fact is, China is a one-party system, right? So if they work, if you look at Hong Kong, if they somehow think by appeasing China and allow China to eventually take over Taiwan, they will die also. It's a suicide mission because there'll be no other political party in Taiwan. It will be just Chinese Communist Party.
Right.
Once they come over, KMT will die, TPP will die along with DPP. There'll be no other political party. So what you're doing now, okay, weakening Taiwan and allow China the opportunity to work on cognitive warfare and influence the people of Taiwan to give up. When that happens, the end result is your party's gone, you are dead. It's a suicide mission, okay? So I'm always curious, how come they don't see this? A Taiwan that's strong is a Taiwan who controls its own peace. If Taiwan gets its peace by begging China, then you don't control your own peace. China controls that peace. Therefore, it's so important for Taiwan to remain strong, and part of that remain strong is investment in defense budget.
Yeah, that's the true meaning. Peace through strength.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't have any strength,
You don't
no
have
one
peace.
wants to talk with you. They just take it.
Yeah.
And they kind of annexation to
Yeah.
Taiwan going to be strategy, because there are two kinds of peace. One is we strengthen our capability and join some kind of security network.
Yeah, the alliance.
Yeah, alliance and establish deterrence.
Yeah.
Make you afraid. They think not today is not a good day to invade. The other kind of peace is surrender.
Yeah.
Without
Peace.
any strength and rely your families on enemies' mercy and sacrifice your democracy, your freedom, your right to choose. I don't want my son live in that kind of life.
No.
Yeah. So, I try to ask Topher. So, you are expert about, you have better experiences. Now, we talk about a topic. United States want to establish a security network.
Right.
And Taiwan is the major top priority in this security network.
Yeah.
That's a good news to Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
But you should carry your own weight. You should share the burden. So if in Taiwan, elected parliament fail this budget, what's the outcome you expect?
Well, first off, like Tony said, it signals to the whole world, to the U.S. and to China, that there is a weak commitment to defense in Taiwan, which is a terrible idea, because why would the U.S. invest its resources into defending an island that doesn't want to defend itself. And it only emboldens the Chinese, thinking that, oh, okay, we can dump more propaganda, more money, you know, the three warfares, more legal aspects, and try and corrupt the political system within Taiwan. So really bad idea. The other aspect that I think, I have two more aspects. The other one is that, like we said, this is a key opportunity in Taiwan. The technology is changing so rapidly with AI, with drones, with automated weapon systems and asymmetric warfare, and Taiwan has an awesome opportunity to take advantage of that and establish a strong defense industry here. Doesn't have to buy weapons from the United States every year. They can start to build their own.
Yeah.
Right? And that's jobs for Taiwanese. That's a strong Taiwan. That's a new industry for Taiwan. And not funding that opportunity is a huge missed investment. The third thing, which I think is very important, is that Taiwan's big money maker export is high-end TSMC semiconductors, computer chips. Right? A lot of people don't understand that the supply chain for all these is very long. It comes from Europe, it comes from Japan, it comes from the United States, all these other countries. TSMC cannot build these chips without the support and the supply chain of the rest of these nations.
Yeah.
If China gets control of Taiwan, do you think that the US and Japan is going to be okay?
There will no TSMC anymore.
Yeah, well, no TSMC in Taiwan, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I can absolutely understand if TSMC moves its headquarters to the US or to Japan or somewhere else. And those chips will continue to be made, and that money is going to be made somewhere else. So it's not just the political future and the freedom, but it's also the entire economy.
Yeah.
Taiwan's a very wealthy, fortunate nation, and not funding their defense, giving up to the CCP would destroy all of it. The complete cost of living, the quality of life would be gone.
Tony, he is our, Taiwan best friends. He helped Taiwan defense a lot for so many years.
Thank you.
Your words talk about some people dreamingly think take over peacefully. There's nothing like that. Once CCP, once Chinese communists take over Taiwan, there's no peace here. And
no peace.
You just mentioned maybe all these political party will be gone. I think that will be the smallest issue we should concern, because once China control Taiwan, our military, those active military, 200,000 personnel, our reservists, near 2 million. Those people who are capable to use weapon, they are capable to organize themselves. If you are Xi Jinping, if you were Xi Jinping, you were CCP, once you control Taiwan, you will try to make these people gone.
Yeah, make them go away.
Yeah.
And another thing, I think some of this retired military member who's promoting China in Taiwan, they need to think about, right now you're helping China, but once China comes over to Taiwan, they don't need you anymore.
Maybe you will be the number one to delete.
Right, and your retirement pay, or you think they're going to be nice to you just because you were doing all this, you cease to be useful. When you're not useful anymore, why would they try to take care of you?
No one will trust betrayer.
Exactly.
Yes.
You
If you betray
Taiwan.
your military, betray your brothers, you betray your country, once their purpose done, you're gone.
You're gone. The history have shown again and again. The traitors think they're going to gain something better, but once the enemy takes over, they're one of the first ones to get eliminated.
I hope they can clear their thoughts,
Yeah.
realize this. And CCP, they want to control your plans, so they need to delete all the education workers, teachers, instructors, military policeman because you are capable to use weapon. You are capable to develop ideology. So look at Xinjiang, look at Tibet, look at Hong Kong.
Exactly.
They are going to relocate you. So I want to talk more about the arms sale packages. You know, Trump administration just released, he approved the historical largest arms sale package, including HIMARS, including, that's good stuff, M109, A7, howitzers, and including a lot equipment. We dream to have that for decades. Now they approve it, especially 420 ATSM. You pronounce that?
ATACMS.
That's something huge. And if Taiwan can pass the budget, we are going to have 111 HIMARS. No, that's
tremendous.
Yeah, tremendous change. And to go along with this arms sale package, I would add it two issues here. First is, Trump just released a national security strategy. That's new. And the other one is Pentagon confidential brief, overmatched brief, released by New York Times and one media from UK. So these three issues, arms sale package to Taiwan, and overmatched brief that reveal if China launch full-scale invasion toward Taiwan and United States going to intervene that, and maybe going to be defeated by PLA. And in my point of view, that's something from Pentagon to require more budget. That's my point of view. And national security strategy, this one is each presidential, they need to release one. And in that national security strategy by Trump administration this term, showing Taiwan is the core interest for United States. And United States want to establish a security network here. So put these three together. What's your point of view?
Let me talk about the overmatch study first. I thought that's so interesting because when I was in the Pentagon, we did similar things. If you look at the overmatch report, when it came out and how it come out, okay? So usually when we need more budget, okay, we would do some kind of study before National Defense Authorization Act, because Congress authorized the timing is so important because that's when Congress give you money.
NDA is about money. Before NDA approved by senator and the congressman,
the overmatch report come out, okay, and overmatch report is done by Net Assessment Office, and we send it to Congress, and maybe I'm talking about some of the strategy we used to use in DoD.
So you are part of this conspiracy.
Before. Because we know when we give to Congress, we say Congress is like a faucet. You give it to classified stuff, go leaked out, because a staffer will say, hey, I know something secret. Let me tell you, newspaper. They do that. So we use that to our advantage, okay? We do that kind of report, classified, but it gets out to the newspaper. Washington Times is good for it every time. You come out, and then it gives pressure to Congress from the outside.
And this time, it's New York Times.
New York Times came out, and so
who going to buy New York Times? Opposite party.
So we use that to pressure Congress for more money, okay? And usually the study is done how? China got more ships. China got more airplanes. You have to show in the report how you come up with the result. We lose every time by saying China's got this million-man army, and we only have this much. So you use numbers, right? You use a lot of factors that justify the result. You don't use the factor like real combat capability, like combat experience, training, the synergy you get, and you don't bring in allies and coalitions. It's just U.S. fighting alone, you know? So you come up with the result, oh, we are overmatched because they got more of everything, okay? We need more money. That's the overmatch report, okay? Arms sale, okay? This latest package, if we look at what's in it, it's Army stuff, right?
Yes.
It's Army-centric. Before we see air-centric, airplanes, missiles, Taiwan has a layered air and missile defense, as you know.
Yes.
Right now, Tiangong 4, right? Patriot, Tiangong 3, 然后 NASAMS, right? Stingers and Phalanx, right?
Yes.
Layer. This current package gives Army surface defense a layered approach. Okay.
Air defense layer now is
surface
to surface layers.
Yeah. Surface defense, 300 kilometer, 150, 75 tow javelin, right?
Makes sense.
So you have the M109A7 with precision rounds. The reason why I believe M109A7 was delayed so many years because we couldn't get the precision rounds released, the Excalibur.
At this time.
Now Excalibur finally, Sweden say, okay.
Approved.
Otherwise, it's useless. The current Taiwan M109, it's okay. M109A7 need this precision strike munitions to be effective because it shoots fast, scoop fast. It can stop in 30 seconds. It can launch the first round.
You can survive from the counterattack, and the precision can make your attack effective.
Yes.
And I think from a policy point of view, with the release of so many ATACMS, I think United States finally agreed counter-strike is a legitimate defense activities. Because before, United States will only sell defense weapons, short range. Okay, the United States don't want Taiwan to go attack China.
There is an invisible limit. You know that. Certain kilometers within that we can procure, and beyond that, the United States are going to delay it. But this time, so many ATACMS break through this limit.
As far as tactics go, okay. When China launches their rocket or missile takes longer. Rockets because shorter range, faster and low level. It takes about 7 minutes to get here. But with intelligence, usually as they deploy out, you already know they're leaving, they're getting ready to fire. And satellite can determine their location, right? So once they fire, within the first 2 minutes of their firing, it's confirmed, the indication coming down. So Taiwan should already have those target sets loaded in their systems, like the ATACMS, like the Xiongfeng 2, okay? Those counter strikes should be on their way over to China before the first missile from China even hit.
Before Chinese first attack arrived in Taiwan, the counterattack
should be on their way.
Reached China already.
And they should be moving. Okay, after they shoot, they move. They don't want to stay there, right? So having this type of counter-strike capability, I believe, it's a policy change in the United States. If you look at the new Block 70 with the conformal fuel tank, the long-range tank, before we don't sell long-range tanks, we were worried about, Taiwan decided to strike China. I think that's removed because otherwise, I'm not in Washington, D.C., so I don't know the actual policy right now.
Well, that's a huge shift.
Yeah, it's a huge shift because when I was there, many of the things that Taiwan requests got denied because of the range, and you are familiar with that. And now, 300 kilometers, the Taiwan Strait is 200 kilometers.
And if we can deploy HIMARS on Penghu Island.
Oh my God, that push it down even further.
That means China, their SAM, their surface,
air missile,
air missiles over their air command post, their harbor, their logistics center. In Fujian province, in Southeast province, the coastline will be the target. So if you are Commander General of PLA, you need to assemble your essays
Further back.
backward. That
Yeah.
can provide space, the
Yeah.
depth for Taiwan self-defense.
I'm glad you mentioned the harbor. The Harpoon missiles that Taiwan have, they all have coastal target suppression. They just don't hit ships. They can hit the coastal targets too.
Yeah.
Right.
So Taiwan's ability to counterstrike is actually tremendous. And people need to remember that these are capabilities that can reach China before their first missile even hit Taiwan. So all the talk about, maximum effort, saturation strike, China probably don't, when the second wave, they might only have 25% of the weapons capable of launching the second wave, 25, 30. It's not like they can continue saturation strike. So I've seen this in some of the channels in Taiwan. They talk about, 10,000 missiles coming. They don't have 10,000 launchers. Okay,
Yeah.
but
That's for 外行人.
yeah.
It's amateur.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have a few hundred launchers for the first wave, and
If they don't have launcher, those platforms.
yeah,
Or even they have thousands of missiles, doesn't work.
and those
Yeah.
thousands of missiles at their base waiting for reload should have already been struck.
Yeah.
On Taiwan's first wave, because these are target sets that should be already preloaded in some ATACM or some Xiongfeng missile. This is your target. Once China initiates the strike, war's on.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for their bomb to hit you first. Once they're in the air, it's coming, you shoot back.
Well, not only second strike. China need to be very cautious for their first round strike. And
Right.
You mentioned this historical largest arms sale package majorly is about army exercise.
Yeah.
And the army in Taiwan, their role is waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting
for the
enemy
beach.
reach near to the beachhead.
Yeah.
Then you have your role, waiting. But now, if they have these ATACMs, they are going to support
Oh, yeah.
Air Force and the Navy. Because
If you look at this package in a congressional notification, this thing is the most expensive one. This is a $1 billion notification
Yeah.
just for this tactical system.
yeah, and that's the beauty of increasing defense budget.
Right, you can do this.
If we expand our defense budget, we can procure something we need for a long time.
When I hear people talk about, China is going to control the air and the sea. No, just because Taiwan can't totally control, they can't either.